Hey there, all you crypto adventurers out there, and welcome back to the NOSR Webs podcast. Yeah, we know the name's a mouthful. Just call us NOSR Webs. And hey, while you're at it, check out the awesome offers in the links below, because who doesn't love a good deal? Today, we're strapping on our virtual helmets and diving deep into the world of Mina Protocol. It's this super cool cryptocurrency that's turning heads with its ridiculously lightweight blockchain. Imagine blockchain, so tiny you could run it on your phone. That's Mina's game. But the real question on everyone's mind, will this pocket-sized powerhouse rocket to the moon? Or are we in for a turbulent ride? Hold on to your hats, folks, because we've got expert predictions ranging from a slow and steady climb to a full-blown explosion. Some say $5 by 2026. To help us decode this crypto crystal ball, we've got the brilliant mind of an expert speaker who can explain all this financial wizardry in a way that even I can understand.
Happy to be here. Let's break down these predictions and see what the future might hold for Mina.
Okay, before we get lost in the sea of speculation, let's set the stage. Where's Mina at right now?
As of today, December 8th, 2024, Mina's sitting pretty at around 50 cents. That's a decent jump from its all-time low, showing it's got some resilience. But let's be real, it's a far cry from its launch price of over $9 back in 2021.
Whoa, from $9 to 50 cents.
Yeah.
Some would cue the dramatic music.
Talk about a wild ride.
It sounds like Mina's been on a crypto roller coaster.
Absolutely. It highlights the volatility we often see in the crypto space, especially for newer projects. But that initial high price also shows the excitement and potential people saw and still see in Mina's unique technology.
Right, because that lightweight design is a game changer. It's like carrying around a bulky encyclopedia when all you need is a pocket guide. Both have the info, but one is way more practical. Expert speaker. What are the experts saying? Will this little pocket guide become the next crypto bestseller? What's the short-term outlook for 2024 looking like?
Well, CoinMarketCap's analysts are feeling pretty optimistic. They predict Mina could settle somewhere between 60 and 75 cents by the end of next year. Their reasoning: increased adoption, especially within the exciting world of decentralized finance DeFi for those in the know.
Okay, so nice steady climb. Not too shabby. What about CoinGecko? Are they on the same page?
CoinGecko's taking a slightly more cautious approach, predicting a range of 50 to 65 cents. They're factoring in the overall market conditions and potential economic headwinds that could impact the entire crypto space. You know those pesky real-world factors that always seem to throw a wrench in the works?
Ah, yes. The dreaded bigger picture. So we've got one saying steady growth, the other saying it might just hang out where it is. What factors could push Mina toward one end of the spectrum or the other?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? One key factor is how successful Mina is in attracting developers and building out its ecosystem. More developers building cool stuff on Mina means more use cases, more demand, and potentially higher prices. But flip side, if development stalls or there are any major security hiccups, well, that could spook investors and put downward pressure on the price.
It's all about delivering on the promise. Proving that this tech isn't just hype, right? It has to show it's building something truly valuable. So let's say Mina sticks the landing in 2024. What's the crystal ball saying for 2025? The midterm outlook.
Now things get a bit more interesting and a bit more spread out. We're seeing predictions for 2025 ranging from a modest $1 to a more bullish $1.50. A lot of this hinges on a couple of big ifs. First, if the overall crypto market sees a recovery, that rising tide could lift Mina along with it. Second, and this is critical, if Mina hits its roadmap milestones, you know those technological advancements they've been promising? That could signal to investors that they're the real deal, pushing the price up.
So it's not just about riding the market wave. It's about Mina proving it's more than just a flashy concept. It has to show it's building something truly valuable. Now, I know we've got some listeners who are in it for the long haul, so expert speaker, lay it on us. What's the long-term forecast? What could Mina be worth by 2026 and beyond?
Fasten your seatbelts, because this is where things get really exciting, or maybe a little scary depending on your risk tolerance. Some analysts are going full-on bull, predicting Mina could hit anywhere from $3 to $5 by 2026. That's a potential 10x return from where it is now.
Whoa, 10x. Now we're talking.
But I'm guessing there's a catch, right?
Of course there's always a catch. That kind of growth assumes Mina becomes a major player in DeFi and NFTs. It means they've fully realized their vision of a truly decentralized internet, powered by their super efficient blockchain.
That's a pretty big if, right? I mean, the world of DeFi and NFTs is already pretty crowded. Absolutely. And let's not forget the flip side of the coin, the bearish scenario. If the market takes a downturn, or if Mina stumbles in its development, well, some analysts think it could fall back to the 30 to 40 cent range.
Ouch. That's a pretty steep drop from those dazzling heights. So essentially, it's a high-risk, high-reward situation.
Exactly. High potential, but with significant risk as well.
Well, folks, you heard it here first. Mina could be the next big thing, or it could be a cautionary tale. So before you go all in, let's get a little more technical. It's chart and graph time. Don't worry, I promise to keep it simple.
I'll translate the technical jargon into plain English.
Perfect. So first up, we've got support levels. Think of these as zones where buyers tend to swoop in and scoop up Mina, preventing the price from plummeting further. And on the flip side, we have resistance levels. These are like ceilings, but not the kind you bump your head on. They're price points, where selling pressure might increase, putting a temporary cap on Mina's ascent.
It's like a cosmic dance between buyers and sellers pushing and pulling the price, with these support and resistance levels acting as key battlegrounds.
Exactly. And then we have the moving averages. Think of these like trend lines that smooth out the daily price fluctuations. The 50-day average, which tracks the price over the past 50 days, is looking pretty good. It's trending upwards, but here's where it gets spicy. If that 50-day average crosses above the 200-day average, which tracks the price over a longer period, watch out. That could signal the start of a major bull run. Expert speaker, break it down for us. What does all this technical mumbo-jumbo actually mean for someone who's thinking, hey, maybe I should invest in Mina?
It's all about understanding the potential trajectory, right? The support and resistance levels give you a sense of where the price might find stability or encounter selling pressure. As for those moving averages, well, a crossover like that could be a sign of increasing momentum, a signal that more and more investors are jumping on board.
Okay, so it's like a green light, a sign that things are heating up. Before anyone makes any rash decisions, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture, shall we? Expert speaker. Remind us, these price predictions are just that, predictions. We've covered a whole spectrum of possibilities, but what are the real-world factors?
You got it. It's crucial to remember that these predictions are educated guesses, not guarantees. The truth is, Mina's success or failure depends on forces, much larger than any individual prediction. For starters, we've got the overall market sentiment. If the crypto market as a whole goes into a bear market, well, Mina is likely to get swept up in that downward spiral no matter how promising its tech is.
Right, it's all about those market vibes.
Exactly. Then there's the regulatory landscape, which is constantly evolving. Governments around the world are still figuring out how to deal with crypto, and new regulations could either boost Mina's adoption or throw up roadblocks.
So like a regulatory roller coaster, up, down, who knows where it'll go next.
And of course, we can't forget about technological advancements, both within the Mina ecosystem and in the broader tech world. If a competitor comes along with a blockchain that's even lighter and faster than Mina's, well, that could change the game entirely.
It's like the crypto version of survival of the fittest. Only the strongest tech survives.
So listeners, we've covered a lot of ground already, from Mina's unique technology to the expert predictions and the real-world factors that could make or break its success. But before you make any decisions, let's delve into some technical indicators that can give us a glimpse into Mina's market behavior.
All right, it's time to put on our detective hats and examine those charts and graphs. But don't worry, we'll make sure you don't get lost in the technical jungle.
Exactly. Let's start with support and resistance levels. Picture them as zones on a price chart. Support levels are where buying interest tends to increase, kind of like a safety net that prevents the price from free falling. And resistance levels are like ceilings, but not the kind you can't break through. They're price points where selling pressure might increase, putting a temporary cap on Mina's upward climb.
So it's like a tug of war between buyers and sellers, with these support and resistance levels acting as key battlegrounds.
Precisely. Now remember, these levels aren't set in stone. They can shift as market dynamics change for Mina. We're currently seeing key support levels around 45 cents and a strong one at 50 cents. And on the resistance front, we're keeping an eye on 75 cents and the psychological barrier of $1.
Okay, so those are the price points to watch. But how do we know if Mina is gaining momentum or losing steam? That's where moving averages come into play, right?
You got it. Moving averages are like trend lines that smooth out the daily price fluctuations and give us a clearer view of the overall direction. The 50-day moving average, which tracks the average price over the past 50 days, is currently trending upward for Mina, a positive sign.
So things are looking up for Mina.
Well, it's a good indicator.
Yeah.
But here's where things get really interesting. If the 50-day moving average crosses above the 200-day moving average, which tracks the price over a longer period, that could signal the start of a major bull run. It's like a turbo boost for Mina's price.
Wow, that sounds exciting. So if I'm seeing those lines cross, it's time to buy.
Hold your horses. Remember, no indicator is foolproof.
No.
It's just one piece of the puzzle. Always consider other factors, do your research, and make informed decisions.
Right, because even with all these technical tools, investing in crypto is still a gamble, right? It's a bet on a future that's full of unknowns.
Absolutely, and that's why it's crucial to have a long-term perspective. Don't get caught up in the short-term fluctuations. Instead, focus on Mina's fundamentals, its technology, its team, and its potential to create real-world value.
Okay, so far we've talked about support resistance and moving averages. Are there any other technical indicators we should have in our crypto detective toolkit?
There are actually two more I'd like to introduce. The RSI and the ASDD, they can provide further insights into Mina's market conditions and potential trading opportunities. The RSI, or Relative Strength Index, is like a speedometer for Mina's price. It measures how quickly and dramatically the price is changing. Think of it on a scale from 0 to 100. If the RSI climbs above 70, it's like Mina is hitting the gas a little too hard and might be due for a slowdown or a price correction.
So it's a warning sign like, hey, things might be getting a little heated here. Proceed with caution.
Precisely. On the other hand, if the RSI dips below 30, it could mean Mina is oversold, like it's been unfairly punished, and could be poised for a rebound.
Interesting. So that's a potential buying opportunity for those brave souls who like to catch falling knives, right? But as you said, no indicator is perfect. It's just one piece of the puzzle. Now, what about the MACD? What secrets does that indicator hold?
The MACD, or moving average convergence divergence, is all about spotting trends and potential shifts in momentum. It looks at the relationship between two moving averages of Mina's price, a short-term one and a long-term one, to give us clues about whether the bulls, the buyers, or the bears, the sellers, are in control.
Okay, and how does that help us?
Well, the MACD has three main components. The MACD line, the signal line, and a histogram. When the MACD line crosses above the signal line, it's like a bullish signal suggesting the upward trend is gaining strength.
So that's a buy signal, right? Time to jump on the Mina train.
Not so fast. Remember, it's just a signal, not a guarantee. Always consider other factors and do your own research.
Of course. Always do your homework, folks. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. So if the MACD crossing above, the signal line is bullish. I'm guessing the opposite is true. When it crosses below, right?
Exactly. That's a bearish signal indicating that the momentum might be shifting in favor of the sellers. And the histogram, that's the third component, adds another layer of insight. If the bars on the histogram are growing taller above the zero line, that's another sign of bullish momentum. Conversely, if they're growing taller below the zero line, it reinforces that bearish sentiment.
So it's like a confirmation, another piece of evidence to support the bullish or bearish case.
You got it. And remember, these indicators are just tools to help you understand the market better. They don't predict the future.
Right. No crystal balls here, folks, just data and analysis. Speaking of analysis, expert speaker, after hearing all these predictions and diving into the technicals, I'm feeling cautiously optimistic about Mina. That potential upside is hard to ignore, but I'm still on the fence. What about you? After all this research, would you put your money where your mouth is and invest in Mina?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And I have to say it's a tough one. I see the potential, absolutely. That lightweight blockchain technology is a game changer. And if Mina can deliver on its roadmap, it could become a major player in the decentralized future. But I'm also mindful of the risks. The competition is fierce, the market is volatile, and regulations are a constant wild card.
It's like a high-stakes poker game.
Yeah.
Right? You have to weigh the potential reward against the very real possibility of losing your shirt.
Exactly. So while I'm not giving out financial advice, I will say this. Mina is a project worth watching closely. Do your research, stay informed about developments, and make a decision that aligns with your own risk tolerance and investment goals.
Wise words, expert speaker. So listeners, what have we learned today? We've explored Mina Protocol from top to bottom, from its unique technology to its roller coaster. Price history, from the expert predictions to the technical indicators. That can help us make sense of it all. And most importantly, we've emphasized the importance of doing your own research and understanding the risks involved. Because in the world of crypto, there are no guarantees.
And no shortcuts to success. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to learn and adapt.
Well said, expert speaker. Well said. Now, folks, before we wrap up, just a friendly reminder to check out those amazing offers in the links below. Because who doesn't love a good deal? But more importantly, remember what we talked about today. Weigh the risks, consider the potential, and make informed decisions.
Knowledge is power, especially in the world of crypto.
Couldn't said it better myself. Expert speaker, thanks for joining us on this wild ride. It's always a pleasure to pick your brain.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to all our listeners, thanks for tuning in to the NOSR Webs podcast. Until next time, happy investing and may the crypto gods be ever in your favor. But hey, enough about us. What about you? Now that you've heard the predictions and the technical analysis and the potential risks and rewards, what's your take on Mina Protocol? Would you roll the dice and invest? Hit us up on social media and let us know. We'd love hearing from our savvy listeners.
And while you're pondering that million-dollar question, don't forget to check out those awesome offers linked in the description below. Consider it a little bonus for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of Mina Protocol.
A little crypto treat, if you will. But seriously, folks, Mina Protocol, it's a project with huge potential, but it's not. For the faint of heart, remember, it's a bet on a future where decentralization and efficiency rule the digital world. It's a future that Mina is striving to build with its lightweight blockchain technology. But like any investment in the Wild West of crypto, there are risks involved.
Exactly. Do your own research, stay informed, and make decisions that align with your investment goals and risk tolerance.
Couldn't said it better myself. Expert speaker, thanks again for joining us on this wild ride. It's always a pleasure to have you break down the complexities of the crypto world.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to all our listeners, thanks for tuning in to the NOSR Webs podcast. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and may your crypto portfolio flourish.